7. Barrett outside the switch. Doncic goes over and a great step. And then he hammers it home. Broke his ankles.
An unstressful New York Knicks W. We were supposed to beat the Magic. We beat the Magic, but I also said, I don't care how we win, just win. We don't have to win by 20. We could win by 2, but this is the way. This is just how you're supposed to beat the Magic. Show you're clearly the better basketball team, and we showed that. The Magic are a rebuilding group of guys. They're extremely young. I believe their oldest player on their team, like in their starting lineup, might be Wendell Carter Jr. Like they have a bunch of I believe they don't even have it is Wendell Carter Jr. because he was in the 2018 NBA draft, or Mo Bamba. Like their youngest players in the starting lineup was drafted in 2018. Got to give credit to Mo Bamba. I actually thought he shot the ball well and played some solid defense out there, but there's not many bright spots if you're a Magic team. Like this is just a young team. Jalen Suggs getting adjusted to the speed of the NBA. He struggled shooting the ball, but I thought he made some nice plays at times. There's going to be tons of ups and downs. Franz Wagner, I thought he shot the ball well for sure. And apparently we haven't won in Orlando since 2018, so that felt really good. At one point, we were actually up 34 points in this basketball game. Yes, it was a bloodbath. The only time it was close was kind of at the beginning, like the first few minutes in this game. And I take back the non-stressful part for a second because I was so scared when I saw Mitchell Robinson go down, hurt his hamstring, but only Tom Thibodeau. When we're up 1,000,000 points, it looks like the game's over, but Thibodeau is going to continue to play starters, continue to play the guys that are important to this team. I'm not saying the guys on the bench aren't important, but just those main X factors out there on the court, only he would keep them in when the game looks like it's over. But after Mitch gets hurt, a little scary. He's like, all right, you're good. All right, we're putting you back out there. Only Tom Thibodeau. But let's break down this game. New York Knicks came out victorious. Let's get right into it. So at the beginning of this basketball game, RJ Barrett actually kind of set the tone on the defense side of the basketball. I thought we played extremely well. Again, these are young players, and I said there's no consistent spacing when it comes to this Orlando Magic group of guys for sure. But RJ Barrett had a very nice strip on Franz Wagner to set the tone. And on the other side of the basketball court, or on the other end, Kemba Walker set the tone offensively, drilling a 3. So that was very nice to see. But after that possession, I believe we ended up missing 4 of our next 5 shots. So we started to just kind of be stagnant on the offense side of the basketball. Mo Bamba went on to hit a couple 3 balls. But then, after that, we ended up hitting 4 threes in a row. Evan Fournier 3, Julius Randle 3, Kemba Walker made back-to-back 3 balls. This was definitely a better bounce-back game for Kemba Walker on both sides of the ball. But again, you have to keep in mind we're playing the Magic. The Celtics are a much better basketball team. But then Jalen Suggs started to really dribble penetrate well. He started to get he had some solid plays at the beginning of the game. He kind of tailed off. The Knicks started to adjust on the defense side of the basketball. But Jalen Suggs, he did a good job dribble penetrating. But after, we stopped the dribble penetration of Jalen Suggs, it started to become a bloodbath when we adjusted. And it just seemed like we made these young players scared. Welcome to the NBA moment for a Franz Wagner and a Jalen Suggs, because Jalen Suggs is that point guard. He's orchestrating the offense. Cole Anthony's next to him, who was struggling, just shooting bricks left and right. He didn't play a smart brand of basketball. Again, that is a very interesting fit. And I did say that I don't like how that's going to be defensively, and I think Fournier should take advantage, which he did in this game. He shot absolutely lights out in this basketball game. But again, we're up 34 points at one point when it came to that second quarter. We owned that second quarter. But getting into it, where it started was Fournier drawing contact, getting to the free throw line, made the first free throw, missed the second, I believe. But then the next play offensively, Evan Fournier strong take to the basket and one, executed the 3-point play. RJ Barrett wheeling and dealing. We were just flame throwing from beyond the arc. We were absolutely amazing. This was just an absolute murder. This was an absolute massacre. Everyone had their input on this game. I believe RJ Barrett didn't score in the second half. That was probably the most disappointing thing, that maybe you would like to see RJ Barrett more consistent, scoring the basketball throughout this basketball game. But it's only the second game of the season. I'm not going to get on him, but if it continues, we'll see. But I really liked the way he played defensively. I thought he played disciplined. He made some nice passes. He crashed the glass extremely well as well. But he did have a nice shot off the dribble against Terrence Ross, knocked it down from mid-range territory. So that was really nice to see. But after the offense started to get going, the defense was pretty consistent throughout this game. The Magic offense started to really get stagnant. We went on a big-time run, playing some great defense. We were up 26-16. They called a timeout, and then we went on a 27-7 run again. this was an absolute bloodbath. Like, it's the Orlando Magic, but the New York Knicks never go up a bunch of points and keep it that way. We usually always blow it no matter what competition, but the Knicks have also been very bad for a long time, so I understand why we blew those leads as well with bad coaches and all that. But we got out running RJ coast to coast, just bad defense by the Orlando Magic. They just simply did not play good basketball. Again, they're young. They're going to go through a lot of ups and downs. They have a lot of learning to do. Randall had a dunk in transition. Fournier 3. To end the first quarter, we were up 36-16. It just seemed like the Magic didn't have a lot of heart. They looked gutless. They looked scared out there. Like, they looked like a bunch of lost puppy dogs. And then in the second quarter, Robin Lopez, he had a nice move, being physical, pretty much knocked over Derrick Rose, had an and one, executed a 3-point play. But then after that, it looked like the Magic maybe they're gonna build some energy or get the crowd going a little bit and maybe build some momentum in this basketball game. But the Knicks put their head down, continue to get to work. The play I absolutely loved is when it was off of a Cole Anthony miss. Derrick Rose snagged a rebound, beautiful outlet pass to Obi Toppin, and I believe he laid it up and in, or maybe it resulted in a dunk. Can't remember at the top of my head, but it was just a beautiful pass by Rose, outlet pass to Obi Toppin, which resulted in an and one. I think it was a layup. But off Cole Anthony's miss, D Rose just 3. Like, we actually broke the record for like the most threes in franchise history by the New York Knicks. We actually ended up making 24 threes. 21 was the brand new record because we had 23s was the most we made before we broke the record tonight. Quickly ended up breaking it with the 21st made 3, but we tied it like 4 times before, making 23s in like 4 games in the past. So that was pretty damn cool. But this was just a bloodbath. Like, Sims got involved in the action, dunk. Mitchell Robinson, second chance opportunities. Burks knocking down shots. Literally everyone got involved in the offense. At one point, we're up 50-22. RJ scored off the bounce, like I mentioned, up 31 points after that, 56-25, and then just so many buckets. We're playing good defense, but also the Magic couldn't hit the side of the barn. Like, it was just completely ugly. I gotta give credit to Franz Wagner, though. He was one of their lone bright spots. I would say Mo Bamba, I thought, played well. I thought Mo Bamba and Franz Wagner played a good basketball game, but we were up 65-35 at halftime, being up 30 points. We actually had 17 assists. I liked the way we distributed the basketball. There were still some moments that we played too much isolation, but it definitely got better in the second half of this game. But we were winning when it came to getting out and running in transition, 18-3. They had 3 fast break points. We had 18, and I love how we played throughout Obi's strengths in this game. But then the third quarter came around. It was actually kind of scary. We were turning over the ball left and right, and I'm like, what is going on here? But again, like, I can't. I don't want to leave out Fournier. I mentioned Fournier, but Fournier was freaking amazing in this game. Once again, got a little revenge on his opposing team of the Magic. They didn't want to go on to pay him, but I understand they went in the rebuilding direction. But in that third quarter, like, we were up, like I mentioned, 30 points at halftime. They cut it down to 16. We were turning the ball over. Like, we were really struggling against the zone. I have to admit, they came out with definitely more heart and made some solid adjustments, but then the Knicks didn't look back. Derrick Rose 3, just Randall started getting going. Like, the New York Knicks just played with so much heart. Obi Toppin almost broke his career high. Like, I loved his aggressiveness in this game. He hit a couple threes, didn't hit one last game. His teammates just did a good job finding him in transition. They need to kind of do a better job finding him in the half-court setting. Quickly, when he was kind of quiet in the first half, like, there was one funny play. This was actually in the fourth quarter, but I got to bring it up here. This is actually when he started to get going. He lost his contact, like, I believe on a foul away from the ball, and he caught it, like, while it was falling out of his eye. And then the next offensive possession, he drills a 3 from the corner. There's just a lot of fun to talk about because this wasn't really a game at all, so we can't really talk about momentum. But the momentum was the Knicks absolutely just owned them in the second quarter. But the third quarter, there was a little bit of a scare, like I mentioned. They cut it to 16. The Magic went on an 8-0 run. But what stopped that run was Walker. Like, this always hurt me as a Knicks fan whenever we would play good defense, right? And it's like the shot clock winding down. 3, 2, 1. The offensive players in the worst possible position, they just heave it up and they make it. And that's what Kemba Walker did. And that's the type of element he brings to this offense. He's a difficult shot maker. He's just a very good shot creator. But they actually outscored us, like, at one point, like, 19-6. Mitchell Robinson, like, I was really scared. I knew we were going to win this game, but us, like, only being up 16 after being up 30. Mitchell Robinson getting hurt. Like, that was definitely a big time concern. I'm like, only the freaking New York Knicks. But the Knicks got back, lethal shooting, top and corner three. Mitchell Robinson came back at the end of that third. We're just killing it from beyond the arc. Like, Burks had this behind the back pass to Obi, corner three, but Knox came in at the end. Didn't really do much. Grimes drilled the three, but that was pretty much garbage time at the end. And then Randall got into it with Wendell Carter Jr., a whole technical. You're up 1,000,000 points, Randall. I don't know why you shoved him. Don't let him get to you. We took Randall out of the game at the end. Thank God. But the Knicks came out victorious. A lot went into this game. I thought the Knicks didn't give up. You could say in the third quarter they got a little too comfortable at the beginning, but then we called a timeout and just put our heads down, and everyone got to work and executed the game plan. Let me know down below your thoughts and analysis. The Knicks got the W. Thank God, and peace out, y'all.